What do you get when you mix a health coach and a wellness coach mixed with a lot of curiosity? You get two people who ask a lot of questions about health and wellness. Today, we ask, why do some people get really sick and others don't really?
It is the season, back to school, seasons changing, the germs are going around. What factors play in us getting sick? Let's get started as we ask.
Wait, what? Do
I
I
know
when I say wait, what? Do I get real close to the camera after I do that? With
you do.
my face? I do, don't I? I'm always like, wait, what? Oh, people on YouTube, you should be commenting on there and saying, why does this face so close? Anyway, how are
um,
you?
Good. I have full disclosure for both of us.
Mhm,
We are recording back to back,
mhm.
so we will not have an update on our call to actions.
No, but you know what? I do have another full disclosure I just thought of.
Oh, okay.
No judgment. I know you won't judge me.
Oh, I don't
Um,
judge.
I think I was on like a 214-day tracking streak,
Uh-huh.
and about September-ish, I quit tracking.
What happened?
So it was a decision I made to quit tracking
Okay.
away.
Okay.
So but I don't think I told everybody that because I was like,
Mm-hmm.
and I've always been a big proponent of tracking, which I still am. I
Mm-hmm.
just needed a break from it, and I just stopped. And there were a couple days when I was just tracking one thing just to get a streak, and I'm like, this is kind of stupid. Just to keep a streak going. It's not the end all be all, like, I could
Mm-hmm.
start a new streak whenever I'm ready.
Right.
So, like, I remember when we worked for Weight Watchers and we got rid of the wellness wins, and which
Mhm.
was something that was like you got like points for it. And when they took that away, everybody was like, they didn't track again. And I'm like, this was silly. And I kind of was in that same thing. Like, well, I'm just tracking just to keep a streak going, which is silly. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
anyway, that has nothing to do with why I stopped tracking. I stopped tracking because remember I said I stopped eating meat. And when I stopped eating meat, like, all of my statistics were all off and I wasn't getting any of my macros and I was just getting more discouraged. So I
Okay.
went, something has to give. I'm trying to stop the meat for different reasons. It has nothing to do with getting macros or any of that. So I kind of had to just say, keep doing what I'm doing, eating healthy, eating good, and not worry about that right now.
I like that.
So, but I wanted to tell full disclosure to everybody that I haven't tracked in a while.
I think that's really honest because sometimes you get tired of a particular habit or
Mhm,
behavior and you
mhm,
just literally need a break from it.
mhm.
And I
Yeah.
think that's okay because then you come back to it with like fresh energy if you want to come back to it.
Right, I think that's what it'll do is it'll bring me back, like, I'll get back into it again, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's what I wanted to tell. I forgot to say that in the last episode was that I haven't been tracking.
Are
So,
you shaming yourself for that?
um, I don't know if I'm shaming myself. I don't think so.
Oh, good.
I don't think I'm ashamed of it. No.
Like, or disappointed. That's a better word.
I think I am a little disappointed. I think so,
Hmm.
but I don't really know why either, so I don't know. I don't know. I will say I have not seen my weight go up since I stopped tracking.
Okay.
So I'm happy with that. So
Yeah.
I'm not, you know, so I'm okay. I'm clearly eating okay then if it's not going up. Now I
Sure.
did have a bunch of stupid food this weekend, but that's a different story.
But you're supposed to have stupid food every now and then.
Well, my daughter went trick or treating and then that brings home that stupid food. Like I mean like stupid food, like
Oh,
candy.
does she share her candy with you?
Yeah, of course. Well, I don't know if it's really sharing. If it's there, I just take it.
What is your
It's like
favorite
my tax.
candy?
Like, that's the tax of being a parent, is you get the tax. Like, I don't tax them on anything, but I get that, like, some of their
Of
candy
course.
here.
Of
Mom
course.
tax?
Of course.
Yeah.
What is your favorite candy?
Well, I'm very polite, and I usually take what she won't eat.
Oh.
So I took, like, the Rolo and the Heath bar 'cause she won't eat those.
Oh.
And I don't
Okay.
discriminate on candy, I like it all.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I like it all.
Not me. It has
No?
to be good candy. Like, I know people used to give those like Mary Janes or the little one in the wrap. That's
Yeah, I
or
don't like
Tootsie Rolls.
I do like a good I love you don't like a Tootsie Roll?
No, it just gets stuck in my teeth.
Oh, I love a Tootsie Roll, so the long, skinny ones I love even more. I love them.
Really?
Love them. Love them. Tootsie Pop, I love a Tootsie Pop.
I think I have some trauma because when we were driving someplace and I was eating a licorice and it got stuck in my teeth, and then I felt like something crunchy, and I thought, "Oh my god, my licorice has glass in it," but it was my tooth.
Oh my god, you were like you were like, "They this is what they warn people about."
Yes, and I had cracked my tooth, and I was driving a car, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is terrible." So I think I have trauma with, like, really sticky candy.
Oh, yeah, you probably do. That makes sense. I like it all. I don't there's not one I don't like.
Hmm,
I like the coconut candy. Also, question for you. You said you like good candy, but were you always like that?
no.
See? There you go. That makes me feel better. Like,
My, favorite from the Halloween bag was always, like, a Almond Joy because kids don't like
kids
those.
don't like that. My daughter does though, so I have to respect
Oh,
that. Yeah,
okay. Or Mounds, those are my favorite, or
I love
Reese's,
it too.
but I don't eat those anymore.
Honestly, Reese's aren't my thing anymore. I used to really love a Payday more than anything in the world.
Really?
Payday or Baby Ruth. Those are my top 2. Top 2. And
Wow.
nobody gives out Paydays or Baby Ruths.
No,
They don't.
no, they don't. I remember eating a Baby Ruth after my braces came out, and I thought it was the best thing in the whole world.
They
Because,
are. They
you
are.
know, when you have braces, you can't eat all that stuff.
They are the best thing in the whole world.
Ugh.
Anyway, so that's what I mean by eating what did I call it? I didn't even call it fat I don't know. It's just junk food all weekend.
Yeah,
Anyway.
that's okay.
So, any updates with you since I gave my update on no tracking?
I don't really have any updates.
Okay. Alright. Well, do you want
W
what I
I
love?
wanna know, yes. What do
Alright.
you love?
So, I was struggling with sharing this only because I in one of our call to action groups by the way, our call to action groups are we have so much fun in all of them, by the way. I'm not
Oh my
singling out
gosh.
one. But before we actually officially start, before everybody's on, we, like, talk about just nonsense stuff, and we were talking
Mhm,
about facial hair in the one, right? Is that how we got
mhm, yeah,
or were we talking about gifts? Anyway, we're talking about, I think, facial hair and, like, female like, you get I don't know, I'm just being honest, I get hair on my face.
yeah.
I'm
You
44,
know,
and I get
sorry
hair
to
on
interrupt you, but you know what the worst thing is? Now that I'm 55, I cannot see well. So I cannot see when I have those random 3 chin hairs,
my
and nobody tells me. And I look in the mirror sometimes without my glasses, and I'm like, "Nobody told me. This is gross."
which got us on a conversation of the car mirror when you're sitting in your driver's seat.
Yes,
That is
yes.
the best mirror, the best lighting. I have scissors, tweezers, and, nail clippers in my car. Just they're my
Oh,
car ones, so that when I'm in the mirror and I see something, I can grab it.
right. That makes sense.
I'm gonna get really close to the camera and say this. I'm pretty sure I have more facial hair than my husband
Well, yeah,
because he
but I
doesn't
think
grow facial hair, and I think I grow more than him. So that's kind of embarrassing. Anyway,
it's not. Trust me, it's not.
so shout out to my mom because when I turned 40, she got me a big bin of with 40 things in it. Like just things, little things to open. And
Mhm.
some were just little things and some were bigger things and just things, fun little things. And these two items were in it. And this one is called the Flawless. Have you ever heard of it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a little it like makes like a little vibrating sound. It looks like something inappropriate, but it's not. And it literally just like I don't know if it cuts it or it pulls it or whatever it does, but you just rub it all over your face and it gets rid of all of your little hairs, like the
Does
little
it hurt?
not at all. It doesn't tickle.
So,
I'm
it's
doing it
not
while we're talking right now. I'm actually doing it right now.
it doesn't work like the old Epilady. Did you ever use that?
No, I used to have one of those. It does not work like that.
Oh my god, that was awful. They would
No.
yank your hair out, and it was so painful.
Wait, I'm gonna show you something really gross. If you're watching it on YouTube, can you see that like that's the hair? It looks like lint.
Oh. Oh.
I know. So I know. How gross am I? You guys are all this is the last episode
This
of
is the stuff people need to know.
well, you're right, I think. So it just collects in there. Anyway, so this does all of your like mustache area, your chin, like all of that area. Okay. I love it. I don't think it was much money because I think you can even get it at like Walmart in the as seen on TV
Right.
section. So it's a great gift for somebody that you're like, "I don't know what to get them." It was probably one of the best 40th gifts I got, honestly, because it was
Oh.
alright, so she got me that one, and then she got me this one, which is I don't know how to pronounce it, Vogcrest, same thought, but it's for nose hair, and this one tickles a little bit, so if you put this one, like, by your nose, it actually does tickle,
Oh.
but not in a bad way, like and it doesn't hurt, but it, like, trims your nose hairs a little bit, and it works really good in ear hair, not for me, but for my husband, he's got those old man ears. I'm like, "Oh,"
Mhm.
where you gotta, like you know what I mean? And, like, it really works for that too. I think it's
Nice.
actually for your eyebrows as well, like, where where they come down a little bit.
Yeah.
I think it's for that area too, but, I just use it for my nose.
Very nice.
They're just easy, fun, I love them. I probably use them 2 or 3 times a week, just as a
Really?
precautionary type thing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you don't wanna be like me,
Or if
like,
I'm, like, sitting here and
"Oh."
I'm, like, rubbing my face talking and I feel, like, a little, like, I'm like, "Oh,
Yep.
I" you know what I'm saying? Like that.
Yep.
So this one is Vogcrest, that's the one for, like, your nose hairs, your ear hairs, and all that, and the other one is the Flawless. They're great.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try it out.
They're wonderful. They're good gifts for your daughters if you have daughters,
Mhm.
daughter-in-laws if you have that kinda relationship. They're great.
Nice. I like
Friends
that
that
one.
you're like, "I don't know what to get them," but then again, that's a touchy subject because then if you get it to somebody, they're gonna be like, "Do I have face hair?" Like,
Yeah.
it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
Yeah, but everybody has it. They just don't talk
They
about
just
it.
don't talk about it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, doesn't hurt at all either. I did it while I was talking you guys don't even I literally did it while talking to you guys just
And
now.
your face didn't get red.
No, 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 not at all. And I just put it on, then put my makeup on and go.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway.
That's pretty good.
Alright, so what are we talking about this week?
Getting sick.
Getting sick. I
It's
have
the
it right now.
season. You do?
I
You have the
have the
crud?
crud. Yeah, I have the crud. It's like you could feel it in your throat. You kind of like wanna blow your nose, but nothing's coming out if you blow your
Mhm.
nose. You know that sickness?
For me, it always starts in my throat, and it's like that sore throat that's nothing helps it, no water, not tea. You're like, "Oh god, it's the
Mhm.
thing. It's coming."
Mhm. My daughter has the cough right now that's just
Mm.
annoying, and it's one of those where you're like, you can't keep someone home from school for a cough.
No.
You know what I mean? Or stuffy nose. She doesn't even have the stuffy nose as much as the cough, and it's like, it's going around.
Yeah.
So
And
so
it's
we
it really is like when back to school starts, it just amps up for a whole
Mhm.
bunch of different reasons.
Yeah. So actually, I feel fortunate we waited till this long to get it.
Oh, yeah, true.
You know?
True.
Um, so my son actually gets it so bad at this time of the year that he can't get better, and it's months, months. He's actually getting sinus surgery on that because of this reason. Like once he
Oh.
gets it, it doesn't go away as like a normal person would because he's got like bones in wrong places and he's got like a structural problem. But we're not
Mhm.
talking about that today. We're talking about like when you get sick, what happens for like a normal that's not a bit not the right term, but for the majority of people, right?
Right. Right.
Mhm.
So what happens when you get sick?
Well, when you get sick, it's actually germs,
Mhm.
which germs and viruses are the same thing. I don't think I really knew that. I just realized that germs are just did you? Or how do you distinguish the 2?
Well, I only learned this because I'm married to a physician.
Okay, so tell me what
And
you learned.
so in the beginning, I'm like, "Oh, you should get antibiotics for that." And he's like, "No, you can't have antibiotics for things that are viral and not bacterial, and
Mhm.
that's different." And so he explained all of that to me.
So, are germs more viral or
And
bacterial?
it
Or
depends.
either? Or
It
either or,
depends.
mix or
Yeah.
match, okay. So, I mean, basically, it's this germ or virus that gets in your body and then rapidly grows, like
Mhm.
copy paste over and over and over again, and it's something your body's not used to, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Some things that you get and you're used to it and your body fights it off pretty good because maybe I've had this germ many times before, right?
Mhm.
Some of these ones, like the one I have now, probably I haven't had this exact germ, so my body's going, "What the heck's going on?" kinda thing, right?
Right.
So, that's kinda where I started, but then I went down a different path, like, I really wanted to look at, like, when I get sick, Why do I wanna eat?
Oh, it's a good question.
Let me ask you this, when you get sick, do you eat or not?
Yes.
You
Oh,
do.
I eat. Yes.
I I don't understand people that say, "I was so sick I didn't have an appetite." Have you ever Does that ever happen to you?
It probably has diminished, but I'm still like, what's there to eat? I wish there was somebody here to cook for me because I really want some hot food.
Yeah. I I think I've said this on here many times, is when I get sick, even when I had COVID, I kept eating because I kept saying, "Maybe I'll be able to taste this," or "Maybe I'll be able to taste this." Like, I
Yeah.
think my food memory bank is so strong that it remembers what that tastes like anyway, and it still wants it.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
don't know that experience of, even when I'm stressed, I don't know that experience of I'm too stressed to eat. I always want to eat. So I kinda went
Right.
down that road, like, I really wanted to know why. And there was a couple reasons. The first reason was it's because of my particular immune system, right? So if you wanna eat when you're sick, you have an immune system that activates pathogens which require more energy. So, the way my
Okay.
body is producing it is literally just, like, activating more pathogens over and over and over than somebody else's. So if you
So
don't wanna
wait,
eat.
wait, I want to dumb this down for myself. So if
Okay.
you're saying if you get sick, then your
Mhm,
body's like, we need to send in more soldiers. Please
mhm.
amp up the machine.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. And your machine, let's pretend like you didn't wanna eat. Your
Mhm.
machine sends them in, but mine is like, "We're gonna send in 500," and your machine's going, "We'll just send in 200."
Okay.
It doesn't mean one is gonna make us feel better faster, it's just how our body handles it. Like,
So
mine is
your immune response is more active than
it's
say
like,
someone.
"Boom, let's get
Okay.
this out. Let's get it out.
Okay.
Let's go." Because then I'm burning more energy making these
Mhm.
pathogens and getting them out, so then my body is needing more food.
Okay.
Right? That's the first reason that I want food and some people don't. The second one is inflammation. So my body might recognize inflammation at a different rate, and then it's saying, "Oh my gosh, you need more cortisol in response to that inflammation."
Oh.
So then it raises my blood sugar, which this is where you might have to help me understand this, which then raises your blood sugar, and then I produce more insulin, which moves the sugar into the cells, which leads to more hunger. Does that follow? Do you follow that? Because I don't really understand it, so you.
Kind of. I think when cortisol is more than normal, because you need some cortisol to stay alive. But when it's amped up, like when you're sick with because of inflammation, cortisol goes up. And then what happens is a lot of the digestive functions get diverted. So your blood sugar kind of goes to storage in essence. So then because that happens, the insulin has no blood sugar to consume. So the insulin jumps up, which then says, please send in more food
Or food.
because it's just
So,
gone to storage.
which is another good thing, and that also could be, like, if sometimes you are sick and you do want more food, this article I was reading said that if you don't always, maybe you have more inflammation this sickness time. So that matters too, like, if you're just sick, not just, but if you're sick and you really don't have an appetite, maybe you have you're not inflamed,
Hmm.
something just doesn't feel right, right?
Right. Right.
So, I thought that was super interesting to me, like, when I am super hungry and sick, there's an inflammation of some sort possibly going on top of everything else, which would make
Right.
sense, like, if I have the nose stuff and the sinus stuff, this is all inflamed, I can tell, I can feel it.
Hmm.
So, I would probably still wanna eat, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright, and then the last part of it, there's 3 parts to why I eat when I'm sick, is my metabolic rate, metabolic, sorry, rate. It is increasing when I'm sick, which means my body needs more calories. And then I found this statistic, which is so interesting. For every 1 degree fever or temperature that you have when you have a fever. So if your body's supposed to be what, 98.5, correct?
98.6.
98.6. Okay, so for every 1 degree that my fever goes up, my body uses 12.5% more energy to get that to come back down, which is equivalent to 20 minutes of jogging.
Oh my gosh.
So that's why you get tired when you have a fever. That's why they really want doctors really suggest drink, 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 drink. If you go jog for 20 minutes, 1, you're gonna be tired. And
Hmm.
2, you can dehydrate faster. You need to replenish those fluids and that stuff that you just 20-minute jogged off, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's I mean, how fascinating is that?
It's so fascinating.
Like, of course, when your little kids are sick and they have a fever and they're just all they do is sleep all day, that's like they're jogging 20 minutes for every 1-degree fever over. Sometimes they
Oh
have
gosh.
102 fever. Think about that.
Yeah,
Your body is working so hard when you do have a fever.
right. That makes so much sense.
Yeah,
Like, I haven't done anything, but I'm exhausted because you have done something. You're actually
mhm,
fighting this
right,
bacteria, the
right,
virus or germs or whatever.
right. So on another note to this little I'm just self-disclosuring things like crazy apparently on this topic. When I was looking up stuff for this topic, I looked up kid videos.
Okay,
So I looked up like I just when I did searches, I did YouTube and then I chose cartoons or puppets to explain this to me because
sure.
sometimes I need to be explained things that way.
Of
Okay?
course.
My kids were making fun of me. They're like, "What the heck are you listening to?" But anyway, it's what it is. It is what it is. The one thing I was really looking at was, like, what I really wanted to know sneezing, mucus, and fever and what those were doing, like, what why do I do that? Like, why do I sneeze more when I'm sick, right?
Yeah.
Why do I get more mucus? Why do I have a fever? So all of that. The first thing was sneezing, and when you breathe in and out through your nose, that's you're collecting germs and all of that. It's your actual nose hairs and all of the stuff inside there are sending notes to your brain that are like foreign matter, get it out.
Oh.
So it's the communication between your nose and your brain. There's a certain part of your brain, I didn't know the name of it. But it's saying get it out and get it out quickly. That's why a sneeze is so violent sometimes and so
Mhm.
like boom, instantaneous. It's the message that went, okay, we have a lot now, get it out. 1 or 2, you're not gonna sneeze. You must have a ton of germs build up in there when you sneeze. Not necessarily germs too, it's also, like, something that your body is like, "What is this?" It could just be pollen or something, it's like your body doesn't like it, so it wants it
But
out.
on a side note, are you a quiet sneezer or a loud sneezer?
I am a quiet sneezer and a quiet puker.
Oh, I don't wanna know about that, but
Okay.
I am such a loud sneezer at all
No,
time.
you're not. I don't I would've put money
People
on it.
are like, oh my
You
god,"
sneeze
all the
loud?
time. I sneeze very loud.
I wonder if your brain is like, "Get it out faster. Get it
Maybe,
out." Or your nose is saying that to your brain rather.
maybe.
I wouldn't is your husband a loud sneezer?
No, but he sneezes in multiples of 3.
So does my daughter. I'm always like, "Bless you,
Really?
bless you." The first one, I immediately say it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, wonder
Who
what that
knew?
is about. I should have Googled that. Anyway, okay, mucus. Mucus is made when your body automatically is trying to fight something off because it's going, okay, we're already fighting something off. We need to trap anything else that potentially is coming in because we're working real freaking hard right now. So we need to make this to
Mhm.
stop anything else from getting in. So it's actually a really good thing when your body does make it because it means you're fighting off other things as it is. And the
It's
graphics when it does this are so fascinating when you watch a kid video on it. It just makes it all click in my head. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but when you have a stuffed up nose and you can't breathe, you're not like, "Oh, thank heavens for the
No,
mucus."
never, never, and I'm
No.
still not right now, but I can appreciate that that's what my body's doing. It's like
Right.
it recognizes I'm already fighting something off, and it's like, "Listen, we can't get anything else in this body, we're doing enough." You know what I mean?
Mhm, mhm.
Alright, and then the last thing I can't even read some of my writing. I did not know that when you get a fever viruses hate a fever. They hate it because they can't multiply. So
Okay.
that's why your body makes a fever.
Oh,
It makes a fever because it's like, there's so many of these germs right now, this is our only defense right now. Let's pull this up and make the body have this fever, and then they actually die when you have a fever. They can't
you
make copies
went
of themselves.
you went down a very scientific route. I did
Well,
not at all.
I went down this route in a kid way. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, as I really was interested in that. And I'm trying to read any of my other random notes that I wrote down, but I know what I did. Eating too much sugar when you're sick also leads to more inflammation,
Mhm.
which remember before I said it leads to cortisol and all that other stuff. Because I was sitting there eating this Halloween candy that my daughter bring, not feeling good. And I'm like, I'm actually doing worse right now.
Yeah.
I'm doing worse right now by eating the sugar. So I thought that was important to say to everybody is like when you are sick, like the worst thing you can do is eat sugar and donuts and pie and cookies because that's actually going to make any inflammation that you have worse.
Right.
Which
Right.
I like ice cream and popsicles when I'm sick.
Yeah, I don't like ice cream when I'm sick.
No? I
Mm-mm.
always like ice cream. Oh, but here's 3 things. Um, Garlic is really good when you're sick, so put garlic in your
Mhm.
food. Um, Honey, which we've talked about before, and green tea, and last thing is, it's 100% a myth, starve a fever, feed a cold.
Should feed everything,
You
right?
should feed everything. Yep.
Okay.
So what road did you go down?
I went down a completely different road. I
Okay.
was really curious about, like, bigger sicknesses.
Okay.
Like, why are more people getting cancer now?
Oh,
And, okay, here are the 3 areas which I went down. Why are more people getting cancer and those types of diseases? What does your attitude have to do with how sick you are?
love this.
And the thing that I ended on was the toxins in our environment. So, um, is there any particular place you want me to start?
Oh my gosh, I wanna start with the negativity people, but go to the
Okay.
first just start in order that you said.
Okay. So I asked, like, why are more people getting cancer? And I think we touched on this on our last episode, but there are several reasons. Is we're eating more processed food, which changes our microbiome, and when our microbiome is not healthy, it's not able to fight off invaders, which you were kind of talking about with inflammation.
Mhm.
So we need to focus on the gut microbiome changes, but there's also consuming of more toxins, particularly in processed foods. The stuff that's you were also talking about this on last episode is the
Oh, like the
things that
stuff in cereals.
yes, all of those things we need to be paying attention to. And then we're also leaving with chronic inflammation, which you just mentioned. But if you
Mhm.
have, because you're under stress or you're just go, 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 it can cause disease and lowering your immunity. So what happens is genetically you're predisposed, like maybe your mom had diabetes and your dad had high blood pressure and you
Mhm.
already have those genetic markers in your body. But how do they get turned on is how you are choosing to live your life and
Mhm.
things that maybe sometimes are not in your control. But if
Right.
the lifestyle choices are there, they may get activated and you may develop diabetes. You may develop high blood pressure just because of the way that you're living your life.
The food.
Mhm. Food
Mhm.
and lifestyle. It's like we're under so much stress all the time. If you think about your average week, you're running from the time you get up until the time you go to bed. You may not even have time to cook a proper meal. So you may be eating out a couple of times a week because you're like, I don't even have time, but I need to eat because I'm starving. So
Mhm.
you will go through a drive through and you pick something that you're like, I really want a
Right.
burger and fries. And
Mhm.
that's not good. It's full of chemicals.
Right.
And you're like too stressed. You're eating in the car. Your digestion isn't working. So your gut microbiome is messed up. It's a cascading effect of this lifestyle that we have. We don't have time for breaks. We don't have time to just
Yeah.
sit and relax. And when you do, you feel guilty for that.
Mhm.
You're like, I should be doing laundry and I should be doing my notes and I should be working on this project for work. And there's always something to do.
Very true. It's not fair.
No, it
Right.
isn't.
And it's like sometimes you just have to say, "What do I do at this moment? Feed this, feed myself this if I'm not prepared," or but then you have to know the effects. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think a lot of our call to action members are really good at planning their weeks, especially if they're super busy. And I
Yeah, I think
think
we've been working on that with everyone.
that is a big factor in mitigating some of the stress because if you know what you're eating, that's one thing you don't have to worry about,
Right.
which is great, because you thought about it when you're not starving. When you're starving, you can't process anything logically.
No, it's that hot it's like when you're hot and cold, like
Mhm.
mood-wise, and when you're like, you should never send an email to your boss when you're already fired up about something, you know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like I should never walk in the kitchen when I'm in that fired up mode.
Yeah, because the first thing you want is chips and cookies and candy, and you're not
Whatever you
thinking
it's whatever you see, unless
you're
it's
not like,
carrots.
"I should have a beautiful salad." You're not thinking that.
No.
Mm. No.
So, yeah.
Unless you do, I don't know. I
Never,
don't. Never,
never.
never me either. So I think I didn't really go into too much, but that is a really big thing that's happening in our society, and I think we need to pay attention to it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Um,
Alright,
so
tell me.
then about the attitude,
Yeah. Do people get
s
more sick if they're negative people?
yes.
I tell me why.
So research suggests that a negative attitude, particularly when associated with chronic stress, can make you more susceptible to getting sick by weakening your immune system.
So, why though? Because your body's trying to regulate the cortisol level?
Mhm. If conversely, if you have a positive attitude, it can be linked to better health outcomes and potentially increased resistance to illness. So if you think about, um, okay, this is a terrible analogy, but I'll get the
Okay.
job done. If you
Alright.
think about your vacuum cleaner, when it's working perfectly, right? You're like, carpet got cleaned, it's perfect, it looks really good,
Right?
no issue. I dumped it in the trash and the collection and the garbage. It's
Yeah.
good. But if there's any kind of barrier in your vacuum cleaner, say it's collected hair or it's not working properly, something's not functioning, you're like, I think that just made it worse. I don't think it actually collected anything from the
Yeah.
carpet.
Okay.
It's a similar idea. If you're negative, you have some barriers that are increasing cortisol or increasing stress or increasing. Think about it this way, okay? If you're a person who's a negative person, and
Okay.
I think I know a few, um,
Yeah.
their first reaction is, "Oh my god, can you believe blah, blah, blah? Do you think that's gonna happen?" And it
Right.
automatically, they're already amped up for the worst case scenario.
Yes.
And
Yes.
if they're amped up, their body's like, "Whoa, what's happening?
Right.
Wait, what?" And then it's already in defense mode. So you're diverting your energy from regular immunity and digestion and all that stuff to, oh, there's about to be a
Oh.
threat here.
Oh, yeah. So it sends all your shoulder soldiers to protect a potential threat, but there's really
Yes,
not one coming.
there's nothing.
So then the enemy gets in.
Yes, because
It's looking
they're
for a
like,
different
look
enemy.
over there. And then
Yeah.
somebody sneaks in over here.
It's
Yeah.
looking for this enemy of somebody at work making me mad when it should be working looking for the germ that's sneaking in over this way.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
So having a positive attitude is important for um, just how, like, if suppose you get sick and you are like, I'm going to take care, I'm going to rest, I'm going to do
okay,
this. You be
I have to
sick
stop right now
shorter
because
time
there's
at a time.
somebody I know that I live with that every time he gets sick, he says, "I've never been this sick in my life." Every freaking time. And I'm always like, "Yeah, you say this every time." So
Yeah.
is that what you're saying is
Yes.
like you're not gonna get better faster?
No. No. If you have a positive attitude, and this works also for small sicknesses, but also more serious things. And I'm not saying it's a blanket statement, but
Right.
if you have a more positive outlook, you're going to heal faster.
Okay. I love it. So I feel like it's the same thing when maybe when I don't feel good and I lay around, sometimes I feel worse.
Hmm.
And I have to push myself and I'm like, I just gotta go for a walk to the end of the street and back. Like I feel better.
Yes.
It's the same thing.
Studies studies have shown that people with a generally positive outlook tend to experience fewer cold symptoms when exposed to a cold virus compared to those with a negative outlook. Stressed people also have more serious symptoms.
It's so funny that you say that though. Because if I look at it just in general, people I know in life, the ones that are like more of like those negative people, they tend to get sicker more.
Yeah,
Wow. I really want to pay attention to this more and more and more though. You know what I mean?
but you think a thing like attitude shouldn't make a difference, but it really does.
Yeah. Wow. Gosh, I love that. I love that statistic so much.
So then I went to because I was like waffling back and forth between, what are we consuming or exposed to? I want to know like the things that are in our environment. What does that mean specifically?
Mhm.
I watched this video by Bobby Parrish.
Oh, okay. I mean, he was one of my things I love a couple of months.
Hmm. So he
Okay.
has a bunch of YouTube videos, and I watched it and I was like, I need to clean up my house, basically. I'm going to
Okay.
go through
Tell me.
his top 10.
Now, these are just things that are toxic to our bodies.
Yes,
Okay. Should I be writing notes?
that's up to you.
All right, go on. I'm ready, ready.
Okay, so K cups.
I I have for a long time hated K-cups so much. I don't think anybody should have a K-cup maker. But now tell
Really?
me what you think. They're
So what
bad.
the reason why he said was the top is made of aluminum and the interior is made of plastic. And the water gets heated to like 220
Mhm.
degrees or something, and then it goes through the aluminum and the plastic to produce the coffee, and um it's really it can leach out the plastics into your coffee.
Yeah, it's horrible. And it's
Mhm.
also bad for the environment. Those little plastic cups everywhere.
Mhm. So he recommended using, and in this video, he recommends a bunch of different alternatives, but he recommended using a stainless steel cup and filling it with your own coffee.
Okay. Or I just use the old school coffee filter and stick it in there.
Mhm.
Stick my coffee in there. Yes. Okay. Okay. I'm happy about that one. I'm writing that down and I'm getting myself a +1 for that one because I'm good on.
Okay, this one, yeah, I don't know what to say about this one.
Okay.
Laundry detergent.
I probably fail on it. What does he think you should do?
So he said that one of the active ingredients is sodium lauryl sulfate, which cleans the clothes really well. But it's also a skin irritant and it's a byproduct of a known carcinogen. So the thing that's really getting our clothes clean is
Yeah.
giving can potentially give us cancer.
Yeah, and that's also in that same I don't remember what it's called either, but it's also in a lot of shampoos. It's what makes
Mhm.
your hair lather. The more
Mhm.
lathering you get is actually more dangerous for you, I've
Mhm.
learned. So what does he recommend? Does he
There's some other he said he was showing some products that he was at Walmart and he was showing some products at Walmart that are clean that don't have the SLS, I think that's what it's called, sodium lauryl sulfate. He
Okay.
said look for more clean ingredients. The
Okay.
third one, I'm
Okay.
also guilty of this, dishwashing pods.
Okay, what does he say? I'm bad.
So dishwashing pods leave a residue which you are then putting on your mouth, in your mouth.
What does he suggest?
So he said to look for no chlorine based ingredients because the chlorine is the thing that's really aggravating. It's going to aggravate your system.
Okay. I know that everybody this was a while ago, like the rinsing aid that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
leave the hard water spots or whatever. I've stopped using that after that was linked to colon cancer, I believe. I stopped using that like in my dishwasher.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I got to get new dishwashing pods. Okay,
Yeah. Well, then I was watching it and I was like, man, this is going to be expensive.
I know. Well, I'm looking at it like, okay, well, I'm out. I have to buy a detergent this week, so I'll just look now. I'm
Yeah.
not going to
Yeah.
not finish what I have.
Right.
I'm just not. So
Yeah.
anyway, okay, what's next?
The next one I was proud of because I've already switched this over is vegetable and canola oil.
Okay, I only have vegetable oil for very few things, but okay.
Yeah, same. I only use that for my once a year frying. He
Okay.
said that it's these seed oils are so heavily processed, and what they do is they add a deodorizer so it won't smell because it's a rancid oil. So they
Oh,
add something to it so it doesn't smell, and that is they add hexane to remove that deodorizer, but it doesn't always clean it properly, and it is toxic to you, and it has free radicals destroying your skin cells.
oh my God.
This is why I'm such a big proponent of not having seed oils because I didn't really realize the process, but it's bad for you.
Okay, real quick, when you make a cake, what kind of oil do you use?
I use avocado.
Like liquid avocado oil?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's the only time I use it, which I
Oh,
don't make
okay.
cakes often, but Okay.
Avocado oil has no taste, and I hardly use that much, so it's fine.
Yeah,
Like
so but you can substitute that for the vegetable oil. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Alright.
plastic water bottles,
Okay, which
plastic
I got rid of those.
plastic water pitchers. So like a Brita,
Mhm.
some people are still using those. He said those filters don't really even work, but your water is sitting in the plastic, and the plastics leach out microplastics, which are known endocrine disruptors.
Okay, so here's my question. I use Distillata, but they come in a plastic water bottle.
Mhm.
But they don't make them glass, so where do I get my water?
I don't know.
Okay, that's
Honestly,
one
I
I
don't
just
know.
have to just that's a 0 for that one because I don't know.
This one I don't use, so I don't know, but insect repellent.
I very seldom.
So he said the active ingredient which keeps the mosquitoes and other critters away is DEET,
Mhm,
which is a potential neurotoxin.
mhm. That's really bad for you, but it
Mhm.
works.
Yeah, it really works. He said you can buy like the other kinds um, that are mineral based, but it doesn't work as well.
Uh-uh. I feel like there's some essential oils, like, you can, like, rub lemon all over you or something that maybe would work, but I don't remember.
Yeah, there are home remedies you can try
Yeah.
too. Yeah. The other one was artificial sugars. And he was talking about saccharin, sucralose, aspartame, which are Splenda equals sweet and low.
Mhm,
Um, it's horrible for your gut and it's horrible for your health.
mhm.
And I personally believe, and maybe this will motivate some, this is not about sickness, but I think people who overly consume artificial sweeteners have a tendency towards bad breath.
Oh,
I don't have data for this. This is my own theory.
okay.
It's horrible for your DNA and it's horribly addictive.
Mm, okay, okay.
All
Alright.
right, through three more. One which you touched on, which is personal care items.
Yep.
So, like the shampoos and deodorants and all those things. There's something in it called sodium lauryl sulfate,
Mhm,
and it strips your hair of essential oils.
mhm,
It has fragrances, which are really bad for you.
mhm,
And it has colors, which are artificial colors, which are made from petroleum, which is
mhm,
crude oil, which can be an endocrine disruptor.
mhm. Yeah, I use the Yucca app for all of my shampoos and body soaps every time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The other one is sunscreen.
Well, I'm sure I fail on that one.
Most are chemically based and they
Mhm.
absorb directly into your skin and then you reapply.
Every hour or 2, yeah.
Yeah. And those are also endocrine disruptors.
But at this point, like, okay, so this is where I get a little bit, like, aggravated. So what would I put on my body? Do I get just risk getting a sunburn and then skin cancer? Or
No, he said there are alternatives. And I think that's the key to this.
oh, there are? They do make
Yes. He said, this is where misspoke earlier, but you need to find the ones that are mineral based and that they
okay,
have zinc oxide because those are really good for you and they're not toxic to you.
okay. Okay, I didn't know that. I thought, like the insect repellent, there's really not much that you can do that works that well except DEET. So for the few times I ever would sit outside and need it, I'm just probably gonna use it, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm not a camper. If I was a camper, then I would probably have to, but I have a pool, so I need to find something that is better.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I have a
I think
pool.
the citronella candles probably would work okay if they don't have DEET in them.
Yeah.
There are alternatives, and that's the key, right? There are alternatives. We just have to do a little bit of work to look for them.
Mm.
And
And
if
one at a
you
time.
one at a time, absolutely do your
Right.
homework, take your time, the better we can clean up what we eat, what we consume, what we're wearing, what we're using, any of those things, if we can clean it up, it's just going to be better for our health.
Mhm. Yeah.
The
Okay,
last one
yeah.
is, do you know what it is?
I would have absolutely no guess, but let me is it coffee cream?
No.
Oh, okay, good, thank God, because 'cause I'm already on this list, and I don't wanna okay, go on.
Artificial colors,
Okay, I
which
maybe coulda got that one.
which are in so many things. They're in toothpaste, they're in shampoo, they're in
Yeah.
laundry detergent, they're in I mean, artificial colors are in so many things, and you're
Mhm.
like, "Why are you putting color in this? It's already
It's sad.
cranberry juice has color. Why does it need artificial colors?"
Mhm. There's you're absolutely right on that. Whew, so I'm gonna tell you on that list, I out of 10, I would say I got a 2.5. Only
Means
2.5 I'm good on,
mhm.
which is pretty sad because I only gave myself a half a point for the artificial sugar. I cut out all artificial sugar except every once in a while I have a Diet Coke or
Mhm.
Crystal Light. But other than that, I'm good on that. I stopped the coffee cream with that in there. I'm really good on the oh, no. No, I'm sorry, because 'cause I'm good on the personal care items. All of my products I scan with that app. I'm good on that.
Oh, nice.
But other than that, my next one though, if you gave me that list and said, "Where do I wanna start?" I'm starting with the laundry detergent.
Mhm.
Where would you start? You probably have a good amount of that, right?
No, I don't. You
Really?
know what the problem is this, the more I learn, the more I realize I have a long way to go. Because I'm
Oh,
already doing a lot of healthy things, but I have a
right.
long way to go.
So where
Long.
would you start?
I would probably start with the dishwashing pods
Really? Okay.
because we use those every day.
Yeah.
And
Well,
there
this
has
is
to
good. So then me and you could both work on I'll work on the laundry detergent,
mhm.
you work on the dishwasher pods, and then obviously not in 1 week. And then that could be the thing we love. We could find one
Oh,
that we really have like, okay, if it smells good, if it doesn't smell good, if it's a bobby, that. We'll both look at that.
yeah. I don't know. I think the takeaway for me from this whole topic is that there are several avenues to keeping our health good.
Mhm,
One is stress. So if you do are around people who are sick, maybe you won't be as sick. Maybe it'll be quick. Your attitude. If you have a
mhm,
good attitude, it's not going to be as bad, or at least
mm,
you won't think it's as bad.
mhm.
And the third is what are we eating and using, and we can work on that too. So all of these things can be helped and worked on. It's not going to be happen like you said, not tomorrow, but
No,
it's a process.
yeah. It's a long process for some of us. Interesting. So keep a positive attitude.
Yes.
I like it.
So do you have a call to action?
Well, I am sticking with my last one, which is the arms and the, Facebook, social media kind of detox.
Okay, so you have to do this for 2 weeks.
I will be working on it for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Mhm.
I am going to be investigating. I'm not buying, I'm investigating the dishwashing tabs and the
Okay.
laundry detergent
Okay.
because I really want to have full knowledge before I spend lots of money on something.
Oh, okay. So you're investigating it first.
Mhm.
All right.
Yes.
I like it. Keep us posted.
Thank you. I will.
All right.
See
We'll
you
see
next
you next
week.
week.